good to be back at the Music Box Supper Club. And just help me out. I meant to ask, is today Wednesday or Tuesday? Wednesday. Great to see you on this Wednesday night. What a gorgeous house we have. Woohoo! Yeah, we're into the official March kind of run of things, so you'll be out every night now until April. Kind of pace yourselves. You will build up a bit of a tolerance to the drink and the music as the month progresses. But yeah, we're almost 2 weeks into our March tour already. The March tour starts on the 1st of January now. In January, milk it for 3. Fair play to St. Patrick. Irish bands would be nailed, but for St. Patrick. But thanks for coming along, and we're going to be turning to a few tunes throughout the night. Old and new and all of the above. Speaking of old and new, we have one of the old, but because it's been a while, he's new. He's back, the man in the middle on the fiddle, Mr. Sean Smith. Give me a huge round of applause, thank you. And yeah, he's drafted in especially because of the Mayo connection with Cleveland, and Sean being a good, strong Mayo man. I knew we'd be playing to the gallery straight away. Very good. We're going to start with a couple of tunes. We end up in Scotland, and then the tune in the middle is actually a bluegrass, old-time American bluegrass tune from Tim O'Brien, and the tune that starts off is a little march, and it's called the New Day March. So, are you up for it? Yeah. Lovely.
Thank you so much. Help yourself to on something.
there's good and bad in that. When you have a good start, there's only one way it can go. We usually like to have a much rockier start than that. Sean, that bit of practice you did in the room worked wonders there. You knew you had to deliver for the Mayo crowd tonight. So yeah, we finished up with a Highland bagpiping tune. I don't know how we came across it. Was that a Tola Custy tune? No. Well, that was Tola's tune, wasn't it? Yeah. It's funny, we were chatting about Tola Custy to Brendan, Carr and Maureen and the girls there a few minutes ago. Tola, great clear fiddle player. And we poached that from Tola's first album, solo album. And it's got an interesting title. It's called An Old Woman Would. Apparently, yeah. And yeah, the middle tune then, the old-timey tune was Rye Straw. How are you doing over there? Killian has a low whistle in his hand that narrows it down. It could be one of 4 tunes we're going to play. And if I look at the set, I can't see the set. That light, I can't see anything with that light. Could we do anything with that light? No. Because when I take the hat off, it gets really bad. Whatever about the set list, the dome is really not good with that hat. That light. Yeah, so we're doing a set of tunes here, and it features the low F whistles, and 2 of these 3 lovely jigs were written by Killian here. Woohoo! It was good to get the applause before the tune. It's a good idea. And yeah, Killian has 3 daughters, 3 very talented girls. And a wife in a 1-bedroom apartment in New York. It's a great life he has. And he wrote 2 of these tunes for 2 of his girls, the middle born and the youngest. First tune is called Sinead Moyas, and the last tune is called Eamers. And the middle tune, because there's always 3, the middle tune is also named after a girl, but Nina Simone. There you go. And yeah, lovely. We recorded these about 6 years ago, I'd say, on an album called Cass. Do we have any of them, Trevor? No? We do? Oh. Who'd have thumped it? Okay. 3, 4. Settling in nicely now. We will. Do you know what we'll do just for a change? We'll play a couple of tunes this time. And literally, that's what we'll do. We're just going to play 2 tunes. So far, we've been playing groups of 3. And these 2 tunes are big tunes, so we don't need the filling in the middle. This first tune would be associated with one of Ireland's foremost composers from way back. Like, we're not talking the 60s or 70s. I think he was around the 17th century or something like that. Turlough O'Carolan, a mighty man by all accounts. And he was a blind harpist who went around the country playing to the wealthy folks in Ireland. He played in the big houses, entertaining, and he was commissioned to write lots of tunes for these. I'm whistling here, Mike. Do you hear that? I sound like I have a tooth missing or something. Like one of them lads from West Clare or something.
Oh!
It's okay, I can say it, I'm from there, it's alright. Lie down, go into bed, Brendan, go into bed, you're alright. So anyway, Turlough O'Carolan came from a place, a lovely, now this is a town you'd all love to come from, Nobber. There's a lovely place. Nobber in County Meath. And he went around to a lot of the big houses entertaining those folks and writing tunes for them. This, however, is one of his little self-penned tunes just for himself. It's called O'Carolan's Welcome. No family or anything like that is associated with it. And it's one of his livelier tunes. It's a nice little jaunty piece. And then we go from that to, there's many tunes, of course, in the Irish tradition, lively tunes that reference alcohol, drink, like real drink. This is one of the few where it's talking about the good stuff that I'm drinking here, tea, and it's called Ladies Come Up to Tea, and it's a lovely little slip tune. Hang on. This one here, which you need me. Oh, it's ringing again. So, I'm playing this on a little G whistle. I usually play it on the flute, but I'm not allowed to play the flute. Probably the lads aren't allowing me to play the flute. I know, I thought it was funny myself. But I had a little bit of an ear procedure there about 4 weeks ago, and I have 2 weeks to go now before I can play the flute. So I'm jobbing on whistles and stuff here. So we'll give this a shot. Don't have to do it. Nice work, good on you. You're earning your crust there now, that's great. So the tunes they're called Good Morning to Your Nightcap, back to the drink related tunes, the proper stuff. And again there is a Scottish tune in there. MacLeod's Farewell was the first one. Written by a great musician. I found a member of a mighty group, you've possibly heard of them, Capper Cayley, you know them? Serious operators, those lads. And Donald Shaw, founding member, wrote that tune. We'll give it another shot, will we? Next. Thanks very much, and then we'll continue with Thank you. Donegal there, we went to for a finish. Always nice to take a little visit up to Donegal, gorgeous spot, and stronghold for trad music for sure. And there's a few names synonymous with the Donegal tradition, and the man that we stole that tune from would be one of those, John McGinley. John McGinley, and no relation to Con McGinley, who also plays fiddle and writes tunes up there. Now, Sean McGinley, the actor, no relation either. The tune that went in the middle needs to be mentioned. A tune again written from the pen of this man here. To my left on the pipes, Killian Ballard. Lovely tune called Drum Cairn. And then I kind of started things off there with the melody of a very old Irish song known as Limo Rahalig. It's a tune that I heard first, as most of us did, from the amazing Tin Whistle album that Mary Bergen released in the 1970s, the first album she did, and that tune is on there. So a little bit of a dusting down, just to bring it back into the nows. Okay, this is where we go back a little bit further again now in terms of the Lúnasa stuff. This set of tunes we never really played live. You'll find out in a couple of minutes why that is. We just thought we would finally unearth it. No, it's because I'm not on flute duties. We were looking for tunes that maybe I'd done on low whistle and stuff. And so this harks back to an album we recorded called The Merry Sisters of Fate. And we already played a set from that earlier with the Good Morning Nightcap. But this is a set again, back then especially, not so much now, there's lots of self-composed tunes, but then that was a recent enough departure for us to have tunes that were written within the band. And our original guitarist at the time wrote the first tune, Donna Hennessy, a gorgeous tune called The 1st of August, which ties in with Lúnasa, which is the month of August. So that's the first fella. And then Michael McGoldrick, who has played with us many, many times on and off throughout the years. He was there in the beginning, he was there in the middle, and he'll probably be there at the end. But for now, he's stuck on a motorway in England. His van broke down today. Himself and John McCusker and John Doyle were heading to a gig, and they're banjaxed on the side of some motorway in England. I bet he wished he stayed with the band now. But Mike's tune is a fantastic tune that followed on from Donna's, and it's called Wind Broke. Okay? Don't get it mixed up with Broke Wind, that's a different thing. The Wind Broke was a little term that Mike's father used to shout out in the middle of a session. He also was a flute player and whistle player, and he made out, even though I didn't believe a word of it because I heard him and saw him play many times, but he'd play a tune, and maybe after playing it once he'd stop and he'd just go, "Oh, Jakers, wind broke, I can't go on. I mean that he was out of puff, but so Mike wrote this tune and called it Wind Broke for his dad, so it's very nice.
Thank you.